Can it be that time of year again? Yes, it is budget time. And indeed, this time we get the spending review as well. I'm going to tell you the things to look out for. There are three of them, three headlines here. First of all, we get new economic forecasts. And perhaps most important of all, though inflation is really important this time around as well, is gross domestic product. So the size of the economy. And you can see just over the course of the last few years, the financial crisis, there a bit of a dip there, it went up, up, up. And around 2020, early 2020, the expectation was it was going to go even higher, that dotted line there. But of course, we all know what happened next, don't we? Look, a massive fall when COVID hit, the lockdowns hit, and it went down there. Last time the OBR, the Office of Budget Responsibility, looked at this, it thought we were going to have a bit of a dip and that red line, it would go higher and higher in the next few years. But what we do know is actually things have come in a bit better than expected. Look at that white line, a bit steeper in the recovery. So we might get an upgrade on economic growth. So that's good news for us and indeed for the Chancellor. Also, second thing, taxes. We get new tax policy potentially, but there's been an awful lot happening this year already. This is showing you the tax burden, so just the total amount of tax as a percentage of national income in the UK, and it goes all the way back to 1955. But have a look at this. With those national insurance increases, with corporation tax increases, we got all of that this year, massive tax increases. As a result of that, the dotted line doesn't look like it's that high, does it? But actually, that's now at the highest sustained level ever. So we'll get new tax policy from the Chancellor, and the question is whether it moves that needle. Finally, and this is unusual, we get a spending review, a 3-year spending review. The government's setting out what it's spending. There have been so many numbers on this recently, haven't there? So many press releases, so many announcements. Let's just focus on what's actually going on here. The government spends about just over £1 trillion in total, but you can break that down. You can break it down in two ways: annually managed expenditure and departmental spending, the blue stuff and the red stuff. The blue stuff, annually managed expenditure, that's the stuff the government doesn't really control on an annual basis, stuff like debt interest, welfare, pensions, things like that. What we're really focused on here is the red stuff, departmental spending, what it's spending on day-to-day spending and investment in all of those different departments. So let's take those two bars and focus on them in particular. Look, you can see this is much higher, day-to-day spending. Then you've got capital, that's all the spending on investments on big projects. We know they're going to go a bit higher in this spending review, so up to 441, 113. But the interesting thing is if we take this in particular, day-to-day spending, move it across here, what we're really focusing on here, what really matters when you pull away everything else, is the extra bit. £56 billion of extra spending. And we already know some of that's going to the NHS, about £14 billion. We had that earlier on this year. We know some is likely to go to schools and aid, maybe about £6 billion, which leaves roughly £36 billion. That really is what this spending review is about. Who is going to get that money? How is the economy going to do? What's going to happen to taxes? All sorts of things that are going to be decided in this budget and spending review. It could be a very big day.